Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to all the participants that joining today's conference. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Azeyan binti Awee. I'm from Universiti Tunku Abdul Rahman Utah in Perak campus. On behalf of my colleagues, I will be a presenter for our research paper entitled Social Loafing in a Work Group Settings, the Roles of Servant Leaderships and Felt Obligation. As for the introductions, I would like to explain a little bit on the social loafing issues. As we know, the importance of people working together in groups to accomplish, conquer, and discover has been highlighted throughout human history. Today's organizations increasingly rely on teams and organizations to carry out a variety of tasks, ranging from product design to service production. However, according to earlier group study, collaboration can alter people's motivations and effort, resulting in considerable losses for groups and decreased productivity for the companies. This phenomenon is also known as a social loafing and is believed as one of the crucial factors that will affect group effectiveness because there is a tendency that other team members are not putting their fair share of effort and contributing less than they could while they are working in the teams. On that note, this study provides an insight into social loafing by reviewing several relevant literatures, theoretical foundations, and analysis of empirical studies in order to further our understanding on the relationship between servant leadership, social loafing, and even fab obligation, particularly in the context of organization. Building on the review, we will develop a potential research agenda that will present on opportunity for theoretical advancement and empirical findings in servant leadership, social loafing, and felt obligation study. Research shows that when faced with a social laziness, group members often turn into the leader for direction and intervention, with as many as 77% voting for the leader as their preferred structural solution when individual interest groups. Researchers and also the practitioners now consider leadership as a powerful tool for addressing employee behavior issues and enhancing an organization competitive advantage as a result of these kind of findings. Therefore, firms must find ways to minimize the phenomenon of social loafing through servant leadership, which is recognized as one of the most essential techniques to minimize social loafing. For the long-term organizational commitment, servant leadership support followers' growth and well-being. Furthermore, to understand the consequences of servant leadership, existing research has used the social exchange theory to support the proposed mediating mechanism, which is that we propose felt obligation as the mediator for the relationship between servant leadership and social loafing. So this study, okay, will contribute to the existing body of knowledge in three ways. First, it will reveal, refresh, and additional links between servant leadership, felt obligation, and social loafing behavior. So therefore, this study considerably contributes to the current body of information. Second, the social exchange theory is used to examine the effect of servant leadership on social loafing. And lastly, the authors adds perceived obligation as the mediator in order to better explain the relationship between servant leadership and social loafing. We're moving on to the part number 2 is about theoretical background and hypothesis. So the first part will be about servant leaderships and social loafing. Servant leadership has an important influence in social loafing, as according to Van der Donk 2011, the leaders must put the interests of the group ahead of their own in order to prevent laziness and be a true role model for the members. To be servants to their people, servant leaders have a great attention to detail. In actuality, servant leadership may reduce social loafing and its negative consequences by concentrating on the growth of a group members and prioritizing others. By reinforcing the group's goal and concentrating on the group's success rather than a single organizational goal, servant leaders boost team potency and effectiveness, according to Hu and Liden. When leaders prioritize their followers' demand over their own, they will inspire their followers to work hard and avoid social loafing as a result. The self-efficacy of those who are supported and empowered by servant leaders tends to rise, raising their awareness of their rising confidence in their work performance. Servant leadership has been linked to improve individual performance, and improvement in self-esteem and also self-efficacy has been shown to raise employees' desire to perform well through internalized motivation, according to Decky and Ryan, 1985. So, hence, on the basis of this, the present study proposed hypothesis number one is about servant leadership is negatively related to the social loafing behavior. Moving on to the second point is about felt obligation as the potential mediator between the relationship of servant leadership and social loafing behavior. As we know, feeling in obligation is another factor that will help to explain the relationship between servant leadership and social loafing, according to the Gardner's theory of social exchange and the reciprocity norm. People throughout the world are expected to support people who have helped them because they think they owe it to them to help others in return. According to the hypothesis, one person begins contact by offering a benefit to the other, and the other party feels obligated to reciprocate. Exchange-based interaction can build trust and support in high-quality relationships once they've been initiated by one person. Because of the social exchange theory, it is reasonable to believe that employees will perform better and be less disruptive in their work duties when leaders' activities are viewed through this lens. Thus, the following hypothesis proposed. The second hypothesis proposed felt obligation will mediate the relationship between servant leadership and social loafing behavior in the lens of social exchange theory. Building on this review, we will develop a potential research agenda that will present on opportunities for further theoretical advancement and empirical finding in servant leadership, social loafing, and felt obligation studies. So therefore, these studies is only explained until part of hypothesis development. So further investigation or research will be conducted to get the so-called empirical result to prove the relationship between a proposed variable that has been mentioned in this research paper. So, end of the presentation. Thank you for listening and take care. Thank you very much.